Hey, how you guys doing? This is William Myers back at you with another video, and in today's video I got a really cool product to show you guys. But before I do that, I just really want to kind of touch base as far as product reviews go. Everybody knows there's hundreds, probably even thousands of places out there, websites out there that sell survival gear and all these gimmick gear stuff. And you know, some of them are actually pretty interesting. Some of them are just like, oh God, are you serious with that? Well, this is kind of different in my opinion. So I've been kind of biding my time. I've seen a couple other people do these, which makes me wish that I kind of jumped on it earlier because I was aware of this company. I've been aware of this company for a while now, and especially the product that I'm going to show you right now. I think it's really cool, and I started researching some of their other products, and they're really ingenuitive and really cool. And what I'm talking about is Wazoo gear. And this is literally well, the name of it is the Viking Whetstone pendant, and this is really ingenuitive and really cool in my opinion. Just a whetstone that you can keep on your body. I'll show you here in a minute, but I keep several different things for maintaining blades, and just having this little cool little pendant on, so cool in my opinion. It's really ingenuitive, really neat in my opinion. So let's get to the unboxing. Alright guys, so when I'm out in the field, when I'm camping, hunting, whatever I'm doing, when I'm going to be out there for an extended period of time, I will take certain instruments to maintain my blades, especially if I'm hunting and I know that I'm going to be skinning, butchering, things like that. But mainly what I've been using lately is I'll use automotive sandpaper, and I'll go from 320 to 1000, 1500, 2000, and then these pads I might not even bring. This is more for like maintaining surfaces, like if I get some surface rush or anything like that. 3000 and 5000 grit pads will buff those right out. I like to, I have some expensive knives and I like to take care of them. That's why I use this stuff. One of the other things that I will do is if I'm clumsy and I break a $200 stone, which this is, it's not really that big of a deal to me because I can just take the broken pieces that I dropped and throw them in my bag. This is a 4000, 8000, which is overkill, but I have several of these in my bag. Some shunt 2 stones that I've dropped, and one is 1000 grit, and the other, just a little sliver of the stone, just enough for me to polish up and sharpen up a blade that needs to be taken care of. So that's usually what I do out in the field to maintain my blades. So other than that, strops, I carry a leather belt that I had made a long time ago. It's a very thick leather belt, and that I have buffing compound that I wear on it, and that's usually how I take care of my blades. So I can keep my belt, that's a strop. This has a strop on it. I don't know if I would use that. I'd probably just stick with my belt, but this little whetstone I think is going to be pretty cool. So let's check it out. Alright guys, well, let's go ahead and open this up. I've seen this on Facebook and even TikTok and other things like that. Don't worry, I'm not littering. I will gather my trash. And I thought that this was really cool. And out of all the things that they sell, which I think are really cool, this was the one that I wanted the most. They have another one that has a ferro rod right here and a little blade back here. We'll see. Maybe we'll get it. But this whetstone, and this is a whetstone, so this needs to be wet. It needs to be soaked in water for a little bit before you use it. This nice little flat edge back here, beveled edges here, nice angled edge right here, and there's a groove cut in this to where when you're out fishing, the worst thing in the world is to have like a dull fishing hook that won't hook set right. So you can sharpen your fishing hooks here, get a nice edge on them again. This thing is pretty neat to me. So all we're gonna do is just sit this in the water and let it soak for a little while. Doesn't matter if it's not totally exposed. Well, there you go. The stone will soak it up. All right, so from the company themselves, they're listing this at about a 600 to an 800 grit, which is gonna be just fine for getting even the most worn down blades back to a nice sharpness again. Even some of your super steels and things like that, which are really, really hard to sharpen in the field unless you have some kind of a stone. That's why, those gnarly super steels, I always suggest you check them constantly, because once you get them past where you can strop them back, it's a nightmare to get them sharp again sometimes. So having something like this that is going to take care of that is really awesome. So we're going to let this soak for about 10-15 minutes and we'll get right back to you. So My Spyderco knife is a little dull, could use a little bit of maintenance, so let's go ahead and use it on this Whetstone. It's been soaking for about 20 minutes. Me and Chris were doing some videos, so it's soaked plenty. So what I'm going to use is the flat side back here. I'm not going to use any of the other edges. I'm just going to use this flat side here. And so again, keep your water on hand. So if you do build up too much of a slurry, you can kind of, and if it dries out, you can re-wet this, let it soak up some more. But I'm just gonna, because I haven't been on this stone, so I'm just gonna back drag it, like stropping it basically, until I get the feel for the stone. It really glides nicely, and it feels like it's cutting really good. And this is vermiculite. I'm pretty used to that. I just want to make sure this particular stone, how it runs. Yeah, it's got a tiny burr on one side. So a more aggressive way of doing this would be to run it around like this. Obviously, this isn't a big, huge stone, so you want to be careful with your fingers. So I'd run it like maybe 10 times one way, 10 times another. Make sure your angles are correct. And you can feel the blade when the angle is correct. Run it 10 ways one way, 10 ways the other. Then 8, 6, 4, and then when I hit 2, I'll run it 1, 2, 1, 2, and I'll do that like 3 or 4 different times. And this is SPM S30V. So if you let this go too far, it's a bear to get back sharp. If it really gets down, you could run it like this. I mean, this blade honestly isn't that dull, but you could run it like that. That's pretty aggressive. I think just stropping it would be fine. It's already got a little slurry on it. That's one thing I would like to see, especially from vermiculite, is that it's getting a decent little slurry on it. Already it's definitely coming back. You know, I don't let my blades go too far, so it's not like this is going to be a very long sharpening video. Just stropping this edge back will probably be plenty. Oh yeah. What I'm just looking for here is just, you know, the grooves in my fingerprints getting grabbed by that edge. Not going up and down the blade. I'm just testing that edge, how sharp that edge is. Make sure that from stropping it, I got the micro bevels off. And that is pretty decent. So when I'm using this, basically what you're doing is you're stropping that edge back and forth, even under a microscope is the only way you'd be able to see it, until that wire pops off and you're left with a sharp edge. So I am super happy with this. I'm glad that I was able to get this for review. And some of the other stuff that I've seen from Wazoo, hopefully I'll be getting some more of that soon, because it's pretty cool stuff as well. Alright, so another cool thing about this is if you don't have a leather belt, you can use the actual leather from the necklace alone to kind of leather strop that edge. I think that the vermiculite does a good enough job. I don't know how much I would use this. Again, I always carry a leather belt, but this is just another utilitarian use of this pendant. And there is some history behind this as well. Oh yeah, I mean that, yeah, you could tell that's got that wire edge a little better. Nice. And there is a little bit of history behind this. I mean, there's not, you know, most, like 90% of Viking grave sites that have been dug up, there is some kind of a whetstone that has been found there. You know, even the packaging says, you know, they're not 100% sure how they were worn or how they're just put in maybe a pocket or a bag or something like that, but they're always around. And this is always going to be around me. I think even the style and design of it is pretty much suits me, so I'm probably going to wear it for a long time. Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed the video, and like I said, this is just a really cool product that I've seen online, and I see them all over the place, little stores and stuff online about survival gear and little gadgets, and they usually, I just turn a blind eye to most of them, but this company caught my eye. I think they have some really ingenuitive ideals and some really cool products, so check out this and other products at wazoo.com. And hopefully you enjoyed the video, and if you did, click subscribe, hit that little bell, and you'll be notified when I make another video. Like I said, this has been William Myers from Manus Outdoors. Hopefully we'll see you out in the woods.
See you out in the woods.